Okay, we're gonna get going. It's close enough. Um, okay, how's everyone doing this week? We're on week two, rounding out week two, getting ready to go to week one. So we're gonna get going with that. We're gonna go over what we're doing this week, talk about a few other things. And first, though, I want to mention we had a handful of people do the Run of Art challenge on this wild weekend. And nailed it down to a couple people that did a little bit above and beyond what we were thinking. First, let me scroll down. We got Cassie Walsh. Yeah, we're all superhero fans. So you will, I'll be sending you a $10 certificate.
Oh,
And
didn't know there was a prize involved.
why not? I got a couple certificates lying around here. And then the other one was the Script Ohio,
Nice.
also a $10 certificate by James Jeanson. Jeanson, I think that's how you say it. I don't know. I'm not sure if he's on. We got about 20, 30 people on. But anyways, his Script Ohio looks good. Kathy did a nice Running Man too. I liked your Running Man, Kathy. I just saw that earlier today. Yeah, that was neat. And then we had Flowers by Ron, and I think A Boot by Denise. Foot in the Leg, that's it. I had a few others sent to me online, email, but I just wanted to look at a couple of them. But good job. We had fun with that last time we did it. It was kind of cool. I did a little writing too. Not as easy as it looks. It's neat when it's done, but it takes some time to plan it out. I found out when I tried it, just to do 3 letters, it took me a good 15, 20 minutes to figure out how to do it. So that, and then pay attention this weekend. We'll have another one coming up this weekend. We'll have a challenge. We'll do the weekly challenge. This week was push-ups. Which team could do the most push-ups for the week? And I saw several coaches email their groups saying, hey, this is the last day. Get your push-ups in and submit them in the notes section. If you haven't done that yet, I will show you the notes just in case you were wondering where that's at. If you go up here to the calendar, I can't do it on mine, sorry. I didn't bring my wife's up this time. But anyway, in the notes section of your details of your workout days on your calendar, just type in how many push-ups you do. We're going to total that up today and tonight and give totals out tomorrow. And then when I put in the recap in the Zoom meeting video, we'll announce the winners then. Remember, these weeks add up. Each week will be scored, as you saw, like a track scoring. And then the winner, the team winner, will have something at the end of this adventure, remote training for something. Okay, so keep doing that. We did push-ups this week. I know my crew is well over 500. The virtually distance runners are crushing it. So we'll see how the other teams look to stack up against us. More the merrier though. Next week we'll do another not another push-up challenge, but another weekly challenge for each of the 5 teams. This one I'm thinking will be more hydration involved. Okay, because these warm weeks coming up, we want to make sure people are drinking water. All right, so it's going to be something like that we're thinking. But stay posted tomorrow. We'll post that on tomorrow, the email that goes out for the recap on all this stuff. Okay, so those will be the challenges. That'll be the hopefully weekly challenge. We'll do the results for the other one tomorrow. All right, now to get into the main thing, which would be the workouts coming up this week. So we're on week 3. And talking to the coaches and just thinking about how we do our normal programs when we meet in groups, a lot of times we have, how shall I say, marker races along the way, little check mark races to see how your fitness is going, to see how your training is progressing. Are you getting quicker? Are you feeling more fit? Things of that nature. Well, with us doing remote training and not getting a lot of chances to go out there and race, doing a lot of virtual races, we have to do the same, but we want to do that too. We want to have a check mark, some type of check mark fitness test or race in there. So what I'm looking at is about halfway through when we get to that 5th week, thinking of doing a 2-mile race. And that's kind of a little bit easier race. It'll give you a good idea of your fitness and see how you're progressing, but it also won't, bury you. You won't be like dead and not be able to do anything the next day or the following couple days. And you can get to a track or you can measure it out, but we're going to start putting that together for the 5th week, and then hopefully roll that out to you guys. And because there's a way, I'm pretty sure I'm on sign up now with all the virtual races where you signed up for this training program. We can also add a race to it, a virtual race to the run sign up, where you can all submit your times and I'll have a nice sheet of how our times look and how we stack up. So we're going to look at that and try to get that going for this group, because I think it's important to have something in there instead of just training and training and training. You like to have a few things in there, a few little tests, so to speak, to see how your fitness is going. So we think this halfway point, we're gonna check on that and see how we're doing with a nice little 2-mile race. So look for that in the upcoming weeks. You just want to throw that out there, just so it doesn't throw you completely for a loop when we add that in. That was just something I was thinking of over the weekend. Okay, so this week though, let's take a gander. We're gonna work our way up. We're gonna start with our novice trainers and look at what they're doing here. Okay, so this is week 1. This is week 3. I highlighted in orange. Bring it right up there. You can see our novice people. My group, virtually distance runners, you should all be with me if you're following this plan. We're going to do a similar workout as we did last Monday, except you are going to flip-flop the run-walk portion. So instead of a 30-second run, 1-minute walk, you are going to do a 1-minute run, 30-second walk 8 times. So you're still going to do the same amount of time, but now you're going to flip the 30-second run, 1-minute walk to a 1-minute run, 30-second walk. Okay, so it'll be a little challenging in that respect. So now instead of the 4 minutes of running, it's going to double to 8 minutes of running. Okay, so we want to make sure we're ready for that. And then as you see, you get to the Thursday workout, you're going to do 1-minute run, 1-minute walk. Instead of a 30-second run, 1-minute walk, you just up the run by 30 seconds because you're still going that mile distance that is still probably going to be longer than the Monday workout. So we want to give you a little bit more time in there to really work on it. So we're going to focus on that 1-minute run, 1-minute walk a little bit with a mile of it. And that way you should be able to get that done a little quicker. Okay? And then our weekend walk goes up to the 2 brisk walks in the week go up by 5 minutes each. 30 goes to 35, 45 goes to 50, but you still have a Sunday rest day. Okay, so it's still only 4 days this week, and enjoy it because then we move up to 5 days. All right there. And if you have a question about that you want answered while we're here, just type it in there in the chat, and then I'll circle back around to it. I'll move into the intermediate, which is the kind of a lot of us are doing at this point. I gotta shrink it down a little. I can't even see that thing in the way. All right, so here's our intermediate plan. This is week 3 for them also, obviously. We all start at the same time. We are going to a fartlek, and this is going to vary in the times you run fast. It's not just going to be all 1 minute or all 2 minutes, which is why it looks a little different on paper. I have to shorten it up so I can get it on paper the right way, or else it'll just take up a big old square if I type all that out. So the asterisk between the numbers is your 1 minute easy off, so to speak. And then the numbers you see on Monday there, these numbers right here, these are your minutes on. So the 2, the 3, the 3, the 4, the 3, the 3, the 2. Those are the minutes on, or your hard minutes. And then each of those asterisks in between are the minutes off the 1 minute easy. It's just a little easier for me to type out, just to let you know that. It's all explained on the calendar, but since we're here, I like to go over them also, just for anyone who just needs that little extra explanation. I do with half the stuff I do. Okay, so that's the first fartlek. That's Monday's workout. Remember, all of these workouts are started with the dynamic warm up, a mile, and then a mile easy run, and then a mile easy cool down for all of these workouts. That's always factored into my mileage when I do these. I just saw one posting that on Facebook today that when they normally do a workout, they didn't normally do their warm up and cool down mile. They didn't count it in their mileage, and you should, because you're putting miles on your legs, whether you're warming up, cooling down, half mile, mile. It should all be counted because that's mileage you're doing on your legs, and you know you want to keep track of that for training purposes. So count that mile, warm up, mile, cool down, please, in your logs if you know you're keeping a log. And then you got your 35-minute run Wednesday, and then we're going to 1200s now. We're actually going to start some specific structured distance workouts. You might call them intervals. That's what I grew up with them. They always call them intervals, but to avoid confusion, I try to get away from that because we do some at interval pace, which is the pace you're going to be running. That's what the I in parentheses there means. It means interval pace. And if you go to the charts, you would see interval pace down on the chart is a pace that is 20 to 30 seconds faster than your goal pace, depending on the distance. By depending on the distance, that means depending on the distance of the interval you're going to run. You know, obviously, the longer the distance you're going, probably, you know, you're going to be on the slower side of that pace. You're going to be on the 20-second side of that pace. Whereas the shorter you're going in your intervals, you'll go a little faster. So you might be on that 30-second side of that pace. But anywhere in that 10-second window, that 20 to 30 seconds below faster than your goal pace for your 5K is fine, 5K, 10K. So again, if I'm training for, you know, 24 minutes, you know, type of, you know, a 25-minute 5K or 8-minute pace roughly, I'm going to run 7:30 to 7:40 for my intervals. Even though my goal race pace is to run 8-minute miles for a 5K, I'm going to train a little faster at the intervals. So I'm going to train around 7:30 to 7:40 pace for my intervals. And that's going to take you out of that comfort zone. You know, these other things you've been doing, the tempos and others, have get you going, but doesn't quite push you to getting too gassed. These will start doing that a little bit. You're going to start feeling that out of breath feeling as you get to the end of some of these intervals now. But let's go back to that. So you're doing 3 times 1200. A 1200 is about 3/4 mile. So if you have a Garmin and you can't get to a track, 0.75 on the Garmin is the easiest way to do it. If you get to a track, 3 laps. 3 laps around a standard track is 1,200 meters. And I don't know of a track around here that's not a standard track. So, you know, I don't think we have any bizarre tracks in this area anymore. I know there used to be some yard tracks. We used to train on Ottawa Hills track in high school, and I think back then there was still yards at one point. But most of these tracks now, they're all meters. And so 1,200 on there is 3 laps. So 1,200 meters on a track is do those 3 laps, or get to 0.75 on your Garmin or any other device. You know, if you're using your phone, 0.75 on that is a 3/4. So you do that, and then you're going to take a minute rest between each one. Not going to be able to get a whole big, you know, jog in, like, you know, running around for the next one. Probably be able to get a sip of water, move around a little bit, and then you're going to be right back up on the line for the next one, because that minute will go by quickly. It's not going to feel like a minute. It's going to feel like 10, 15 seconds when you're walking around back up there for the next 1,200. So just, you know, make sure, you know, you warm up again that mile, get each interval in, the 3 of them. It's a little over 2 miles total, and then that mile cool down. And then after you complete each 3 times 1,200, so if I'm going to run a 1,200, you know, and you're going to do that goal pace, you hit your pace for each 1,200 as best as you can. You know, don't get carried away. Save race for the racing. You don't need to turn this into a knockdown, drag out, you know, hands on your knees, and I'm gasping for air. You know, can't do any more. You want to be able to keep going if you had to. One of my college coaches always said, I should be able to give you one more of these, and you should be able to do it. Okay. If you can't do another one, that means you're going way, way too hard. if I should be able to give you another 1200, and you should be able to do that one. So keep that in mind as you're doing these. Don't turn it into a race. They're going to be hard, but save the real hard stuff for the racing. Okay. And if you have questions along the way, ask the coach, your coach, your team coach, ask me. We can clarify everything. All of these coaches on here have been with me and have gone through these intervals and how we do them, so they can definitely explain it to you also. But just get through each one nice and smooth, get your mile cool down in, then you're done for the day on that. And then the long run goes up to 6 miles or 55 minutes, whichever comes first. So if you're like an 11-minute long run mile, that's your pace. Don't go for 66 minutes. Let's do 55. 55 is plenty for week 3 of our training at this point for a long run for 5K, 10K. Because now you guys are adding a Saturday, nice little shakeout, a nice little Sunday shakeout run. You can see on the schedule, you have a 20-minute easy run in on Sunday. And I try to keep for 5K, 10K training, I try to keep the easier days, just minutes running, not miles. That way people don't get too worried about completing miles on these easier days. Focusing a lot more on the workouts here. Okay? So if you have a question as you look at it more, while we're here, to go ahead and put that in the chat and we'll look at it. Advance isn't going to be too different from this. As you can see, this is the advanced schedule. A little bit more of the fartlek. I've tacked on some 3, 4 there in the middle. You can see there's a little more on the fartlek there. Still 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2. It's still different minutes running, and the setup is the same way. Those asterisks are minutes off. So the same thing there, just a little more minutes on, and you'll cover a little more ground overall, obviously. Now for this plan, you can see you don't get minutes, you have distance, because this is for the runner who's a little bit more experienced, more of your veteran runner who knows their miles, knows what mileage they can do. And so they kind of want to keep a little bit more focus on mileage. So we're going to stick to mileage. So then Wednesday is 5 miles easy. And then you come to Thursday, you're just doing one more 1200 than the other ones. That would take you to 3 miles of intervals. That's like 4,800 meters is 3 miles, close enough to call it 3. But same thing. You're going to do 1,200 minute rest, 1,200 minute rest. You do that 4 times. Track, road, 0.75 on the Garmin. All the same rules apply. Warm up, cool down, all that good stuff. You're just doing one more 1,200. Okay, and then on a weekend, your long run is 7 miles. No time, you want to get to 7 miles. And then your Sunday, nice little easy run of 4 miles there, shake out. The mileage is increasing for you guys. So just make sure you're tracking your miles and staying in that 15% range of increase. 15. I really don't like to go over 20% unless the person I know that person a little bit better. Then I can push 20 to 25 increase of volume per week, but I would need to know you a little bit better. And just for general purposes, we try to stick around 15% for this. And that usually works well. Doesn't get people hurt too much. There's always injuries, but this is definitely the best that I've found. So nice modest increase again. A few things were increased here and there, but not too much, especially now that we're starting intervals. I don't want to go too crazy by increasing too much because we're now just getting used to intervals too. That's, to me, I was just telling my small group, my team, virtually distance runners, one of my beliefs I try to stick to is when I create programs and schedules, I try to avoid manipulating too many variables at once. I don't like changing too many things in a week. So this week we're adding intervals to the advanced and intermediate plan. I don't want to also bump up the miles too much either. So I'm trying to keep the miles right there. I think this plan might have increased by a mile or two, the most from last week. For the most part, you're kind of in the same ballpark, but that's because we're adding intervals. So I don't want to increase too much, see how that goes with these intervals. All right, but that's the 3 plans. That's what we're doing this week. And it's like I said, if you have questions along the way, talk to the coaches, reach out to me, somebody, but we'll take care of that with that. Let's see. What else we got? I think the only other thing is to point a couple reminders out, which I'll do that, and then we'll wrap it up for the day. We all know our chat. We're getting familiar with that. I can tell by all of you on there now. That's our landing page, which I didn't want to show you, but I'll just show you now. But anyways, we go back to the chat page. I wanted to show you the video section again because I've added a video today, just recently. This one, this is where I'll also post our Zoom meeting recaps. So you can see the week 2 Zoom meetings right here. I'm only going to post the all team recaps, not my small team. We'll just do the whole program recap in here. And that was week 2. See, I'm on Hoth now. I'm no longer in Westerwood. You can find me on the planet Hoth if you need me. That's my background now. But the new video is a post-workout recovery from Dana. So she goes through some of the tools that people will use to recover, and how you can properly use them to get your legs back and fit, back feeling better after hard workouts or long runs. We did a lot of these videos for our marathon training, but they apply to any training. Post-workout recovery applies to any type of training. 5K, 1500, all the way up to ultra runners. You know, you have to take care of your legs. And so she goes through some basic ways to baby your legs and take care of them. So, and I'll keep posting videos here and there as we go through these weeks. And I thought this would be a good one now, especially since we're hitting interval workouts. People are going to start feeling these a little bit more on the legs, and as the miles increase too. All right, so take a look at that when you have about 4 minutes, because I think that's how long it was. In any of these other videos, they won't leave; they'll stay, and you'll find the Zoom meeting that we are having right now on here tomorrow. So tell your friends that are looking for something to watch. Okay. Yeah. You can edit your workouts. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Heather is just telling me that on the chat that says you can also edit your workouts, change the dates using the app. You just select the workout, then hit edit, and then you can click on the date calendar to change the date. That's a good thing to know. I didn't know that on the app. Thank you. I appreciate that. I knew how to do it on the computer, just dragging the dates to a new one. But you can do that also on the app by just clicking on edit. That's awesome. All right. I'll have to try that out after this. But so you can do that, because I know that's a good point also to bring up. Feel free to move dates around. You can always move dates around. Everyone's schedule is different. That's one of the good things about remote training. You know, we're not meeting in person on a Thursday to do a track workout. So you can do that track workout any day that works for you. Just some basic things to remember. Don't put workouts or long runs together. Try to avoid that Monday, Thursday, Saturday chain. Try to avoid backing those up one after the other. Don't take 2 rest days in a row. Like, don't do all, if you're doing 5 days this week, don't do all 5 days and then rest Saturday, Sunday. Try to give yourself those rest days spaced out in there to give those legs a break. And that's the second thing to remember. And another third big thing, which I was telling some of our newer runners in our team meeting, please don't try to do 2 workouts in one day. You know, don't try to squeeze in your 3 by 1200 on one day, and then also try to get in your 4 mile easy run later on in the day, because you know you can't do it Sunday. That's not the purpose of the 4 mile easy run. 4 mile easy runs kind of just build up that base mileage and to shake out those legs after the long run and the week's workouts. It's not to tax your legs more after a workout later in the evening. We don't want that. That's how injuries happen. So if you miss a day, you miss a day. You're not going to, you know, you can count all the days you're going to run. 10 weeks of training, you know, even if we were running 4 days for 10 straight weeks, that's 40 days. You miss 1 day out of that 40, it won't end your training. So don't worry about that. When you move a date, should you wait to mark it complete? That's up to you, because the calendar is for you to use. I would definitely wait to mark it complete, though, to once you do the actual workout, just for your, you know, knowledge, because then you're not sure if you did it either, and you might do something, forget about it, or you might do something different. So yeah, I would maybe look at the week ahead of time. What I used to do is, when I had a rough week coming up, I know with work, teaching, coaching, other things, I would look at my days and then maybe try to move workouts around that would fit my calendar a little better, or long run days. I mean, I've done long runs on a Monday. I've gone out for 2.5 hours after Monday teaching, just because I knew Monday was the only day I was really going to get my long run in. So yeah, you can move them around, and I'd probably wait till I did it to maybe, put it as marked as complete or anything. Um, you could do that. We can also we can definitely bring it up in the team meeting. Each coach or person could talk about that in their team meetings better too. Kind of maybe hone in on that meeting part a little bit, the switching the dates around. But unless the coach, your specific coach, wants you to do something differently, I would just mark it as once you finally do it. Okay. Oh, we only got 10 minutes left. Thank goodness I'm not going to talk that long. All right. So good questions though. I like these questions. Thank you. Makes me stop talking. I get to think a little bit. Any questions on the video though? I didn't just post it up there. If you do, I'll come back to it. But yeah, that's good. And the only other thing I wanted to remind everybody of, if they're interested still, if you're not on it, we have our Dave's Training Group page on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, we're kind of making this, like I said before a couple times, more of our social type page. It used to be just for our training groups. It still is a main focus of our training groups, but it gets a lot of cluttered, so a lot of information gets lost. So we're not going to be posting our main information on here anymore. It'll just be reminders and things like that from now on. But it's a good way to get connected with the whole training community. You can see Denise is already on here. I know she's on my team, Virtually Distance Runners. And, we got all kinds of people posting funny things or information. And like here, someone's asking when they can pick up their packet. So if you do anything in the local area here, racing or anything, you can get information that way. So just good things to help you out as you go along. So that's there for you. Don't feel obligated. Don't have to join it. It's free. But if you are, you just send it, just ask to join the page. It's under Dave's Training Groups right there. You can see that in the left corner. And that's the last thing I'm going to end with, just something like that. So didn't really look at the weather this week. How's it looking? It looks like I think it's going to warm. Obviously, it's going to warm back up. It's not going to stay like today. Today's like picture perfect. But it's going to start warming up again. So again, keep staying hydrated. Keep staying, if you can run in the morning, if you can run in the shade, if you can run in the late evening, do it. If you got to run in the middle of the day like I sometimes do, be careful. Be safe. Know your body. Don't get yourself out there in trouble. Okay? Until then, get your push-ups in. Turn those into your coaches. We'll tabulate those tonight, and we'll announce the winners. I'll put that in the recap in tomorrow's email, and the video will be posted of this meeting shortly, and then I'll remind everyone where it's at tomorrow. But unless there's nothing else, unless there's anything else, I'll talk to you guys next week, and I'll see my team 7:30 Tuesday for their meeting, and for your team meetings too. Don't forget, with your coaches. All right? All right. I'll sign off then. Have a good day, everybody. A good week, especially for running.